everyone. I am the multi-haired wonder. I am Josh. The multi-haired wonder, man. That's the new hair. That's the new name because it just changes too much to be anything else. It's either that or snow cone, and I like. I am the multi-haired wonder, Josh. I am joined by my best bud in the podcasting world, Mr. William H.D. Morgan.
How you doing, buddy?
Baby.
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Well, what are we doing? Aren't we supposed to be on winter break? Aren't we supposed to be on winter break?
Supposed to be.
Well, we are here because we got a special show for y'all tonight. We are actually airing in a special area on the UWE page because of this special show. We are talking to two UWE wrestlers tonight. And this first one here, we're not going to waste no more time. He is the current UWE light heavyweight champion. Youngest champion in Louisiana history, Will.
Wow.
At the age of 20.
That's amazing.
3 years experience. I've been talking to him just for a minute backstage. You can tell he is young and excited to be in wrestling, and he's been a 10-year fan. And I'm really excited to talk to him. I'm going to waste no more time and bring him in, Mr. Xavier Storms. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. How about y'all?
Doing good, man.
Doing pretty good.
Doing fantastic.
As I said, the second UWE light heavyweight champion, youngest champion in Louisiana history. I gotta say that's a pretty amazing little nugget you got there.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. Really is. Congrats,
you have 3 years of experience. What has it been like for you in these 3 years, being a 10-year fan? Like, what made you want to be in wrestling in the first place?
All right, so 10 years ago, as I'm pretty sure every wrestling fan was, just scrolling through TV one day, just happened to see a random match. This match particular was Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. And
you remember that match? You remember that match, Josh?
God, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the comments like that make me feel old, Will.
And I was just watching the match. I'm like, man, this stuff is good. And like, they were tearing the house down. I'm like, man, I would love to do something like that one day. Just watching it from here on there. Went through WWE. When I first started not knowing that wrestling was this big thing, I'm just thinking WWE is the only company out there. It's probably gonna be hard to get it one day. As age progression, all that other stuff, I noticed all these other wrestling companies. I was like, man, there's more than just World Wrestling Entertainment. There's this underground type thing, indie professional wrestling. Like, man, I've waited so long for the opportunity, and man, when I took it, I just ran with it.
I mean, I can understand, and one thing I gotta applaud you for is going for that goal, because I think me and Will both at some point we both have that thought, like, I want to be a wrestler, I want to do it, and like I never took that shot. And as I was telling you backstage, at 3 years old, or whatever age I am now, I'm not gonna do it because I'm not gonna hurt myself. But you're training at UWE. You're training under Dapper Dan. You gotta tell me what that's like. Like, what's the knowledge that you've gotten from Dapper, and like, what is the experience that you've learned there?
Man, so going back from my training days, it was a real experience for me. I would say it was life changing. All that. Just funny thing. I don't want to get in trouble for this. I didn't know who Dapper Dan was. I just seen the school one day. I was like, I'm gonna go check it out. I seen the guys in there, the first class. They were doing their thing. They were training hard. Like, man, this is real. So I did it. Signed up. Coach, just off the first day in training, coach was like, man, that guy has something. Dap, he's taught me so much, man. It's like he took me under his wing. Like, he's seen something in me. Like, one thing I can say Dap has always taught me for real. It's like, don't care what anybody else thinks, because you're good. They say you're not good, forget them. You're good.
I I mean, yeah, that's some great words of wisdom there.
Let me ask you
Miss-
this. I want to ask you. You've been watching wrestling. From your first comment. Since you were at least 10. Who are some of the guys who influenced you to want to be a wrestler?
Off the bat, the first name I'm gonna say is Daniel Bryan.
Yes,
We
sir.
got Randy Orton, CM Punk, and John Cena because during that time I first started, it was the feud between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. Randy Orton was feuding with CM Punk. John Cena was working to become back WWE champion again because apparently he hadn't won it for over a year, so he was just, doing his thing. I'm like, man, it's just this passion. Like, when I seen the fan base, all the fans cheering for him, I'm like, man, I really want that feeling. I want to know what it's like for somebody to cheer for me because it's really hard to get that kind of people behind you and something like that.
Right.
Um, Now that you have been doing this for a while and that you are now champion, tell me. So I know that your path to the championship was not an easy one. You actually faced the inaugural UWE light heavyweight champion Punk Sinister twice before you obtained this belt. Tell me about that path. Tell us about what it took to finally get that gold around your waist.
So the story between me and Punk, epic story, legendary story, the very first rivalry in UWE history. It all started at Mayhem at the gym. Me and Punk Sinister were a tag team versus Rico Wildley and Cody Hawkins. So the match was doing this thing, tearing the house down. Surprisingly, I pulled this trick out of nowhere, just did a monkey flip and just launched Rico Wildly into the sky, and just the crowd went nuts for it. I'm like, man, that just it puts a fire under you you've never had before. But we didn't leave victorious that night, and I was a little frustrated because throughout the match, Punk was getting the match handed to him, and I kept had my hand out waiting for the tag. He wouldn't come for the tag, so we lost, and out of frustration, I did attack him at the end of the match. So that triggered the rivalry. We had a few months. What was the time space between that? That was July and September. So we had like a month and a half in between all that, just tension rising up between us backstage, just people having to pull us apart and everything almost every 5 minutes because we just couldn't, stay away from each other. And all of a sudden, just one day, they was just tired of us. It was like y'all two are gonna face each other at our next show, Saturday. What was it? High Voltage Saturday night, and it is for the light heavyweight championship. So that's when tension started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So now I'm sitting here, I'm training hard, I'm working to become the first ever UWE light heavyweight champion. We get to High Voltage Saturday night and we're tearing the house down. They said it was a match of the night caliber type match. That's how we were just giving it to each other the whole night, just waiting and waiting, just beating the living crap out of each other. So we're getting ready. I'm losing. I'm getting tired, exhausted, and Punk hits me with his finishing move, the SDD, and he's pinning me 1, 2, and at 2, my foot lands on the rope. The fans see it, everybody sees it, and the referee continues to count 3. So therefore, I was cheated out of the very first light heavyweight championship. I was frustrated, mad. I came back out right after Punk left the ring. I cut my promo. I was like, man, all y'all see my foot on the rope. This is outrageous. I deserve a rematch because I deserve it. I know, there are other guys in the locker room that deserve a match, but me personally, I know I deserve that rematch because I was cheated. We get a couple weeks down, talking to management. Management finally, accepted my plea, gave me the rematch. Punk Sinister didn't like it. He says, I wasn't very considerate of a rematch. He didn't want to right out give me the rematch. He was like, I should fight for it. There are other guys, as I said, other wonderful talent in the backstage area who deserve that match. But management were on my side with this one. Thank you to them. And we're coming up this past show, November 20th, Saturday night, High Voltage. It's our biggest show, 300 plus fans. Man, just it's electric the whole night. The fans are waiting because they waited month and a half for this match. They were just ready on their feet the whole match. We're there. We're tearing the house down. He hits me with this huge superplex, man. I was not gonna lie, I was a little scared going down because you all know superplexes hurt.
Yeah.
Coming from a guy like Punk Sinister, how tough he is, man. It's Punk. He is one of the toughest guys in the locker room. I will say that. He fights, he works, and he is tough. He's gonna give you his all. But man, as soon as I felt that superplex, I just thought the match was over. Like he got the best of me in this one, but I just kept fighting and fighting. And I finally just pulled out very very favorite finishing move, the Falcons era. 1, 2, 3. The rest is history.
I have to in a match, in a feud like that, in a battle like that, what and all the frustrations that built over time. Like you got screwed out of one match, you weren't really taken seriously in the original match by him. What's constantly running through your head to keep fighting and not just like walk away from it?
Because from day one, I always said hard work and dedication gets you to the top of the mountain. I knew Punk doubted me. A lot of the guys in the locker room doubt me because of my age. You know, I'm the youngest guy in the locker room. All these guys are way older than I am. You know, they're gonna doubt the little guy, the younger guys. So I had to go out there and I had to prove to them I may be a young guy, but I can stand tall with all the big guys.
With the December 18th show in Marshall, are you on that card?
Yes, I am. It was just confirmed earlier this week by Miss D herself, the CEO of the UWE, that I will be facing JT Hanley. Now, I'm not sure if the title's on the line, but that is nice news to hear because, man, JT, he is one of them hard workers in the locker room, too. He works hard. He's grinded hard. I've been waiting for this match for a while now because me and JT were actually in the same class. And, you know, things happened, and I ended up doing my thing with what I had going on. He ended up doing his thing. So now, you know, now that this point has come, I get to face JT, and, like, that's always been a dream match of mine inside the UW, and I just can't wait to tear the house down with him.
All right. So one thing we like to do on this show is get a little bit in the fantasy. So you mentioned dream match.
Yeah.
I know you're only 3 years in, but who's your dream match? Now we got to be a little realistic on one thing because I know you're probably going to go Daniel Bryan.
Bryan Danielson now.
Bryan Danielson now. But let's say 5 years from now, you get your pick of the dream match, but we know Bryan Danielson by that time may have retired. You up and comer, someone who is really starting to build steam right now. Who are you facing?
I'm thinking there's a lot of good guys right now. I can't say CM Punk because I'm pretty sure he'll be done by the time.
Yeah, I don't see Punk making another 5 years.
Honestly, hopefully, I'm gonna say Adam Cole.
Ooh, I mean that. Okay, so my thought was either Adam Cole or Pac, because you mentioned the Falcon Arrow, and Darby, because you mentioned that you are a technical high flyer, which all of those guys I would class in that. They're not necessarily a guy that's always going to the top rope and looking for every like advantage to go. I love Ray Phoenix, I do, but I do believe that he goes to the ropes too often, and that's why he's injured all the time.
That's the thing about the ropes. And I'm gonna spill a little secret here. I might get in trouble for it. I'm sorry, guys, but November 20th, I wrestled that match with a sprained ankle.
Woo!
I did.
It's showtime, man. It's showtime. It's money time. You gotta do what you gotta do when it's money time, man. You gotta put all caution to the wind.
What did
injured or not, I'm going out there. So I wrestled that match.
What did Dusty Rhodes say? Will got to hit that pay window.
Hit that pay window, man. It's Xavier Stones. You've got to hit that pay window, baby. You got to go out there and do it. You got to hit that pay window, baby. If you don't hit that pay window, you ain't getting no check. But for real, you got to go out there and do it, man. I don't blame you. I don't blame you because that was an opportunity for you, and you had to take it, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you follow this industry at all, you know title shots don't always come your way. They're
Nope.
few. A lot of the times
Few and
they're
far
few and
between,
far
man.
between. And so shit, sprained ankle or not, you got to go out there.
You gotta
and
roll out there.
You got to roll out there and take that fight. And like you hear about guys like Adam Cole and guys like Moxley, who was fighting injured for a couple of years, and Omega, who just did a whole title reign with it injured, and
just all through his body, man. And that's the funny thing, because right before the match took place, I had posted a picture of Adam Cole, and it was talking about his injuries, how he wrestled the full gear match with an injured shoulder and all that, wanted to make Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page look like a star. Like, man, that guy right there.
Yeah.
it wasn't even just the injury. Like he had no feeling in it. He couldn't use it. Like they had to tool the match so he could wrestle left-handed. There was talk about him just giving up the title, and he refused to do that because him and Hangman had worked so hard for this feud, for it to finally culminate at Full Gear. And the fact you also look at the fact that Hangman agreed to hold the title for another 2 months, or that Omega agreed to hold the title for another 2 months, so Hangman could be at the birth of his child, and then finish it.
Right. That's the thing. It's all about the storytelling, man. I love the storytelling in this industry.
Yeah, man.
So we talked about your dream match. You, as we were saying, your technical style is technical high fly. Where does I wouldn't the technical side I could see from Brian Danielson. Where do you see you get your high flying interest from? My brother was always really into the high flyers, but back then it was Jeff Hardy. Which will here once we're done with this, we're gonna take a few minutes to talk about that.
Okay.
The high flying, I don't know. I'm gonna just say from probably playing the video games and stuff, I just liked all the high flying moves they had on the video games. Like I would just, pick the best looking ones for my character and just like, man, I'm gonna do this one day. I'm still trying to get the 450 splash down. Still working on that one, but
it blows me away how far it's come as far as the high flying will. Even from like when I was watching, like Jeff Hardy doing the Swanton bomb off a 20-foot ladder was insane to me. But now you got guys like Pac and Xavier doing Falcon arrows and 450 splashes and freaking like just these insane moves that it's like gravity doesn't exist.
That's the thing. Once you're on the top ropes and you jump, it's just you, the air, and whatever's coming down under you.
Call from Oregon, Frankie.
Well, Xavier, we greatly appreciate you joining us tonight. We love chatting with you. Good luck on the 18th in Marshall championship match, and not go out there and kill it.
Yeah, man.
I will.
Good job, bro. Keep that motivation up, man.
Oh, thank you.
Get the motivation and energy up because it's gonna serve you a long way. Particularly when you're dealing with people like Logan Wade. You're gonna need that, man. You're gonna need that. Trust me.
Oh man, big Logan Wade.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Logan Wade.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Logan Wade.
Always got to shout out to Logan Wade.
Heck yeah, that's my buddy.
Mr. Tag Team Champion right there.
I know.
But
hold on to that belt.
There and hold
on to that belt for a minute too.
To the point where you're the longest ever youngest champion in Louisiana history.
That's amazing, man.
We're going for the triple crown right now.
How does it feel to be part of the record book though? Because you're 20. I can't see anybody legally beating that.
You got two. Well, to be I would say to probably hold a championship, you got to be the age of 18. So
at
there's
least
2 years.
That's gonna be a minute to break, man.
It is. So I'm hoping it doesn't change, man.
Well, Mr. Wade is the one who gave me that stat, and he said the guy that Xavier beat was 22. And so,
yeah,
it's impressive, man.
That work is gonna stand a minute. You're in a record book, man. You should be really proud. Really proud.
But again, man, we appreciate you joining us. Always welcome here on PinFall. We're going to be having a lot of you guys, UWE guys on. and talking to us, and we're very excited to have more of this. We love talking to the young up and comers that are just starting to build that career. So go out there and kill it, man. Again, we appreciate you.
Always welcome back, bro.
Thank y'all for having me. Just let me know when there's a next time.
Yep, sure will.
All right,
Have a good night, man.
All right, well, we're about to take a commercial break, and we have a little lull before our next guest, one of the two men fighting for the UWE Heavyweight Championship, is coming on. So we are going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back. And there's just one nugget of news I really want to discuss.
I know what you want to talk about.
You know what I want to talk about, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I want to talk about. So I'm not even going to mention it. We're going to make people wait, and we're going to be right back. All right, and we are back, and Will already knew, so I didn't even say it. I want to talk about motherfucking Jeff Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. First off, he was released from WWE supposedly for refusing to go to rehab for issues that were going on during a live show that he was sent home from earlier this week. I've heard multiple things. I've heard some comments that maybe this is fake just so he would get released so he could go to AEW. I don't know if that's true with Jeff's issues. We all
I
know.
don't think that's true because he's had multiple issues like this.
Jeff had he was on the Stone Cold podcast and he talked about how in 18 years ago when he first got released in 2007, that they had just won the championship. And he realizes now that he could have been huge off of that, probably a multi-time champion, and he blew it. And I just read reports that he was doing so well, and I realized.
And I don't know if you remember, Freddie. I think it was Freddie Prinze, when he was on the writing team back in the day. Was one of the few people who promoted him. He got Vince to buy in, but Triple H never bought in. Triple H always asked that question, why this guy? And now you sort of kind of see some of that come into play. Shout out to Triple H, get better soon.
I don't know what happened, what's going on, but I don't know if he's faking it, but I wonder why. I heard he was doing better. I heard he had been on a good track. And there's a lot of unanswered questions here.
If he's faking this situation, he may see what you taught me into singing about WWE. He might not want to be a part of that because that's a horse of a different animal.
Ching, ching, dollar, dollar.
he might not want to be a part of that because anytime you do that, that's another struggle in itself. And given where he is in his life, if he wanted to fake it to go be with his brother to be in a more stable situation in AEW, hey, that may be the case. I hope as a competitor that's not the case, but it might be.
I think both the Hardy Boys want to finish their careers as
Together.
the Hardy Boys.
Right, together.
They want to finish it together and end on a note of we are one of the best tag teams to ever fucking do it, because of greatest tag teams ever right now, at least in my head, they're sitting top 3.
I agree with that.
Probably in the top 1 and 2 rotating. It's hard for me to pick between it. I mean, it's Edge, Christian, Dudley's, and the Hardys, and those 3 tend to kind of bob between the top 3 for me because they're just so iconic in tag team wrestling, especially when it comes to WWE, because we all know Vince hates tag team wrestling.
Yep. He can't stand it.
So I understand wanting to finish your career with your brother where it started, and close out and leave no doubt in saying we are one of the greatest. And to do it in a company that has been highlighting tag teams since their infancy in AEW would be really great.
Oh, yeah.
And personally, I hate Big Money Matt, so anything that changes him out of Big Money Matt, I'm okay with.
Don't do that, Big Money Matt. Don't do that, man.
I like Big Money Matt as a character.
The character is awesome.
I'm not a fan of the HFO and that whole stable. I feel like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work.
I feel you.
Special guest down the bottom, and he's flashing gold.
We got to run in.
Mr. Logan Wade is here, ladies and gentlemen.
What's that, Logan Wade?
What's going on?
One half of your tag team champions.
Yep.
I just figured I'd pop on in here real quick and grace your faces with my beautiful face.
Anytime you pop on in here, Lester Wade, I got to get your opinion on things that are going on in AEW because it's just what I do.
I guess I'll run for a minute.
Well, while we're waiting on our guest, I got to fill times.
Fill it in. Let's
but I'm actually going to go a little different with this one. As we all know, as of right now, ROH is no more. Final battle was last night. Mm-hmm. I believe all talents are released from their contract as of tomorrow. And supposedly Riccaboni ended with "We'll see you in April."
Andy Leon, if you need new representation, call your boy. I got you.
Well, just for a little thing, tomorrow, our boy Prince Nana is going to be on AEW Elevation as a manager. So, you never know what could be happening. But
do we know who he's managing?
I saw the names. It's no one.
No, we know.
I got you. No.
But my question, real quick, Mr. Groovy King is down in the backstage, so I want to bring him in. My question for you, really quick, is the fact that ROH ended going to change the landscape once again of AEW? We already pretty much know from the show that the Briscoes are coming.
I don't think it's going to be a permanent effect. I think it's more of a, hey, let's put some work on these guys while we can. Maybe get a few matches that we think weren't going to happen on a regular basis happen. You may see a good 2-3 months of them working hard, but nothing significant. And I don't think we're going to have a flood of them. You'll probably get the Briscoe brothers. You'll probably get.
We've already got Jay Lethal.
Jay's coming. You're just going to get a handful of those guys that you know, can always help your guys shine. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and job for them, but they can work, and why not work them? But I hope they work them with some of the independent guys that AEW has brought in to use them as a step up for them guys. Is what I'm going to say.
I mean, you said 5 guys, and I could see 5 guys for Dynamite and Rampage. But there are about 15 to 20 guys that would be good on Dark and Elevation for exactly what you said.
You also got to think Impact's going to want to dibble in that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why I see Mandy going.
Yeah.
I see her going to Impact.
Dalton Castle, I could see him in both. Like, both. Easily.
I think if he goes to Impact, that may change their landscape permanently. I think if you were going to sign anybody to help bring your brand up, which Impact desperately needs, now's your time to do it with the ROH guys.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Wade, we appreciate the run-in as we always do.
Run-in city, baby.
We're going to get back to these interviews. I'm going to waste no time with this one. We are talking to one of the men that are battling for the inaugural UWE Heavyweight Championship. He is billed from San Diego, California, coming in at a 6'2", another tall motherfucker. Always, there's so many tall motherfuckers always coming on this show.
What's wrong with being tall?
I'm used to being the only one.
You're 6'8" yourself. What's wrong with being tall?
12, that's right. He is one, like I said, one of the men going for this title on the 18th in Marshall. We're gonna waste no more time. The Groovy King is here.
Bring him on in. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's the deal?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I love it.
Hey, I'm doing it. I'm living. You know what it is. The Groovy King, keeping it groovy 24/7.
I'm feeling it, boy. I'm feeling it. Yeah.
So what's happening? What y'all got for me?
I'm gonna step out, boys. Y'all have a good interview.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
I'm feeling that vibe, though, man. Most deaf, man. I'm feeling it.
You
man.
like that? You like that jacket?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah.
That's a Groovy King exclusive, along with the shades. You already know. You can get the necklace whenever though. $2. Hit me up.
I wear that thing to work, man.
Yeah, that's right. You caught me at work, but of course I got time for anything.
Appreciate you coming on, man. I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it.
Just diving right into it, man. As we said, you are on December 18th, only a little more than a week away. You will be fighting for the inaugural UWE Heavyweight Championship. Basically fighting for the face of the company here, bro.
That's right.
So tell us about how you feeling. Match is coming up. Where's your mind at? What you thinking?
Man, you know where my mind is? I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. My mind is 20 years ago when I fell in love, 20 plus years ago, I should say, when I fell in love with wrestling. And it was only a dream to one day be on that big stage and just doing what I love, doing what I always loved. And ever since then, it's just always been a goal. It's always been a goal. I never put it on the back burner. I never thought about doing anything else with my life, to tell you the truth. And since I got this opportunity, man, I'm just soaking it all up. I'm eating it all up. I'm keeping it groovy as always.
Who's some of the guys who influenced you to be to where you are right now? Who are some of the guys who you grew up with?
My favorite wrestler of all time is always going to be X-Pac.
Yeah,
always
I feel you.
Dude,
I feel you.
I love that.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't like that. That's not their top, but that's me always. Because he got that charisma. He was just very energetic with everything he did.
That
I like
ability too.
Another guy I love was Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah.
Because he had a little weight on him. He wasn't like a small guy, but he moved just as good as the cruiserweights. And you know what I'm saying? Yep. And I feel like I fit that description well.
I feel we've talked about this before. Too Cold Scorpio is one of those guys that you put him in now, he would be a main eventer because he's like a Keith Lee, and
most definitely
Keith Lee's existed. and we talk about him a lot on here, and that is Glacier. Glacier was like that. Like
Yes, Big Glacier. He was a big old guy,
such a
but
big guy that could move.
That's the new wave. Big mobile guys. That's the new wave.
So what was it that got you into wrestling originally? What made you a fan in the first place? That's a question I always like to make people puzzle and think about is, do you remember your first match?
Do I remember watching my first wrestling match?
Yeah. What was the first?
Actually, I have like a vivid memory of the first time I ever seen a wrestling match. I was probably still in diapers, pull-ups, and my dad, he was watching something on TV, probably flipping through the channels one Monday night, watching football, and he as he was skipping through, you could see like the wrestling going on, and he stopped for a while. It was probably a WCW show at the time, and he was watching it, and I told him, "Hold on, I like let's watch this for a little while," and we watched the whole thing, and from that got to be the earliest memory, and always after that, I always did watch it, always.
Who's some of the
So
guys in WCW who you like outside of maybe X-Pac? Were you really a big fan of Harlem Heat,
Well,
Sting Luger?
I liked X-Pac when he was with DX. That's
Okay.
when I started to like DX. When I
Okay.
started to like X-Pac. But in WCW, I was a big fan of Sting.
Yeah.
I like Disco Inferno. I love Disco Inferno and Alex Wright.
I'm glad somebody mentioned that because a lot of times those two guys get crapped on.
I gotta give
love
you a
lot of
hand clap, Mr.
times.
Love, because you listed some you
Mhm.
listed some guys that don't get the respect they deserve.
They
Now,
get
don't get
crapped
me
on a
wrong,
lot.
Disco Inferno's opinion now can take it and shove it up his ass. But
But the one thing you always have to give Disco, he was always a good worker. Same thing with Alex Wright, always a good worker. And those guys got crapped on a lot. So I'm glad you brought those guys
that's
up.
the same thing. That's the same thing I'd say about X-Pac too. Is hard motherfucking worker, especially for being as small as he was in the time he was.
Yeah.
And I mean, was in one of the greatest stables of two of the greatest stables of all time.
And he pulled out one of the biggest upset of the 90s when he pinned Razor Ramon.
Yep.
So I mean, you got to give him the respect
on that, man.
But I think a lot of people crap on Alex Wright and Disco Inferno just based off of their gimmick. You know what I'm saying? A dancey type gimmick. I mean, a lot of people, at least back then, they looked over gimmicks like that. But me, I'm bringing it back and I'm making it groovy, you know.
Guys like those two guys, I'll take it back a little further. Coco Beware.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys got crapped on because of their gimmick.
The bright colors.
But people forget before Coco even got to the WWE in Mid-South, he was a champion. He was a champion.
Right. He was the one.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't wear bright colors. I always was a fan of bright colors. Like just colors, you know what I'm saying?
It just gets people to react more. To me, it makes the fan interaction better. Anybody can come out there in dark colored trunks and just go whatever. But when you go out there to take that extra mile to make the fans get involved, that's better for you.
Exactly. Because I mean, how many gimmicks or how many wrestlers you have that's dark or just badass dude, like you said, with the dark trunks, the dark boots, and all this, you know what I'm saying? They're easily forgotten. But if you see somebody walking down the aisle in one of these, you're gonna remember them, you know?
Yep.
You're gonna remember that.
Yep. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about this match that you got coming up. We unfortunately, due to some technical and out of our control difficulties, we were unable to interview your opponent before this.
Mm-hmm.
But where's your mind at as far as this match, and what does it mean to you? I mean, God, as a wrestling fan, and now you're a wrestler, even to be in a championship match, especially a championship match that you could be the first ever champion.
Yeah, man, it's just surreal. Just thinking about just this time last year, I was just still just dreaming about it. You know, it was never a reality to me. And since I started schooling and since I got this opportunity and just put all the work in it, the hard work, the dedication, and to finally get where I always wanted to be ever is just it's just surreal. It's just unbelievable. I'm still in awe. I don't even think it's set in yet, and I ain't gonna crap on Jake because he's arguably the best the UWE has to offer. You know what I'm saying? The way he moves and having the experience, and he's just a great competitor. I mean, a jack of all trades. And to go against him, it shows that the company has a lot of trust in me, and I'm gonna uphold my part of the deal.
Well, Mr. King, we really appreciate you. We know we've taken a lot of some time out of y'all busy schedule of just being groovy and being awesome. But
That's
we
right.
appreciate you taking the time and sitting down with us this evening, talking about this. And man, we wish you so much luck. And we got to have you back on.
Oh, always.
I got one more
that
thing.
title.
I got one more
Oh.
thing. Social media, where can people find you, and where can I get that sign that you got around your neck right now?
Man, you can get this. You can hit me on Facebook. I have a fan page. It's the Groovy King, Eddie Love. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, the same handle. And you can just look, DM me. We can work this out together. Don't even worry about it. The first one on me. Both of
I
y'all.
got you, man.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all having me too. It's an honor.
Thank you for coming on,
it's
man.
truly
You're
an
more than
honor.
welcome back, bro.
Yeah, anytime y'all want me, bro, I'm more than happy. It's an honor.
We'll have you on again. Like I said, once you got that title, make sure you can show it off and let everybody see the first WWE champion.
That's right, bro.
Thank you, man.
All right, thank y'all. Have a good
great night,
guys. Those are the interviews that get me pumped up because, like, I'm so excited to see this match. We got it right here, as Mr. Jake Smith said. This whole card going to be extremely wild. If you are in the Marshall, Texas area, you are going to want to be there and check this show out.
Just to see those three guys lined up like that, back to back to back.
Yes.
The company's in good hands.
Really starting to bring back the territory vibe, which I'm dude.
The territory vibe that got taken away from us.
Okay, we've got like 4 good major companies to watch on the national level. Now let's take back the indies to the territory vibes.
Yes.
So, like I said, if you're in the Marshall, Texas area, December 18th, make sure you go and check this show out. They're going to crown their inaugural heavyweight champion. I'm super excited. Singapore Cane match. You can't beat indie wrestling, guys. Like, I promise you, if you're just a wrestling guy and you've never seen an indie show, you don't know what you're missing.
It's a different vibe, but it's a good vibe. Man, there's no telling what you're gonna see either. There's no telling at all. Pro wrestling, you sort of kind of got an idea what's gonna happen, but in indie wrestling, you never know what's gonna happen. Anything can happen in any match.
Exactly. But guys, we appreciate you all joining us tonight for this special episode. We really appreciate.
Thank you, Jake.
Xavier Storm, the Groovy King, Eddie Love, taking times out of their special, and of course the run-in by Mr. Logan Wade.
The run-in, Logan Wade.
And then I'm hoping, like, we're going to be doing a lot more of these interviews, so stay tuned. But I'm really hoping that we can get these two guys on together after this match, because I know Rick Wadley, that he crazy, and him in a cane match, like, I want to see this. I want to see footage. I'm sorry, Marshall's still 8 hours from me. I'm not driving to Marshall, Texas. It's not happening. But I want to see footage of this match.
Fight TV time. they get too big. They get as big as when they grow. Fight TV time.
Of course, we love our indie promotions and we want to support y'all guys. We love what y'all are doing. We've been watching for a long time and we love having y'all on. Hope to have y'all on again soon. Will, you got anything else, man?
No, sir. That's gonna be it for me.
All right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Y'all have a great week. We will be back in January. Thank y'all for joining us tonight, guys.
Later.